Hi guys, I'm Rachel Weber and I'm going to be explaining to you today as to why you should not be eating tuna. According to the Smithsonian, tuna has transitioned faster than any other species from threatened to critically endangered. As a marine biology major, I learned about the tuna industry for quite some time now, and I've become quite passionate about it as I learned a lot in a short amount of time. The more tuna we eat, the more tuna has to be fished to keep up with business. However, the way these tuna are being fished are causing great other effects to other marine life as well as the tuna. This includes overfishing, bycatch, and pirate fishing. Overfishing is the act of overfishing one species past a sustainable amount. You're taking too many of one specific fish out of the ocean at one time. However, this doesn't just affect the tuna, it also affects other species as well. According to the World Wildlife Foundation, tuna are a large fish. They eat medium fish. So when you take out too many tuna, there is too many medium fish at one point then. They're able to reproduce faster because they don't have any predators. However, medium fish eat smaller fish. And when you have medium fish, too many medium fish, you then have too little small fish to feed them, which then wipes out the small fish, and thus leading ultimately to the medium fish being wiped out. You then have a thing called bycatch. Bycatch is anything being caught in a net other than the intended fish to be caught, being tuna. However, it's not just a few fish here and there, it's actually hundreds and thousands of fish being caught. According to Sailors of the Sea, 80 species are caught every year in bycatch other than tuna. That's 80 other species in the ocean. As you can see here in this image produced by the University of Michigan, every year bycatch kills 250,000 plus turtles, over 100 million sharks, and 300,000 whales and dolphins. These are all being caught in the nets and along their lines. However, by the time they make it to the ship, they are already dead. So that is thousands and millions of fish being killed every year, unintentionally. So, of course, governments have tried to regulate this. However, this has just caused something called pirate fishing. Pirate fishing is the act of any fishing done illegally. Given the vast size of the ocean, this is being able to be done under the radar very well. So you have vessels going out all hours of the night, far out into the ocean, and not coming across another person for weeks or months at a time. And they're able to do quite a few things illegally while they're out there. This has also led to illegal work conditions for these vessels. According to an interview done by Manga Bay Media, by an interviewee of one of these vessels, they were unable to sleep for more than 5 hours, and they were only allowed to sleep for 5 hours if they caught fish. If they didn't catch fish, they would work up to 34 hours straight, which is illegal and is unethical to implement these working conditions. But because these vessels aren't being regulated, or even no one knows that they're there, all of these things can happen. As well as these illegal human practices, they are also overfishing, killing bycatch, and thus adding to the problem. So there's no way to really stop this because it's unable to regulate. According to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, this has been going on for too long already, and there's really no hope of regulating it given the circumstances of the ocean size and people flying under the radar with this. With all of this being unable to be regulated, this is leading to greater environmental impacts. So we are losing tuna, which is then causing us to lose smaller fish and then medium fish, thus wiping out almost all species of the ocean, which help regulate their web. According to Conserve Energy Future, the loss of one species leads to the loss of another species, and so on. It is a trickle-down effect. However, once you lose all species, you lose vegetation. When you lose vegetation, you lose all marine life and the complete depletion of the ecosystem. However, what most people don't realize is how important the ocean is to us on land. The ocean makes up more than 70% of the earth. Only 30% of the earth is land. So, you have 70% of the earth gone. Another fact that people don't realize is a lot of people like to think that our oxygen comes from trees, when in reality, 90% of our oxygen comes from the ocean. Now, if we lose the ocean, we lose our oxygen source. If we lose our oxygen source, we lose our vegetation and our land life completely, which would then lead to an actual global extinction. And this is all done by the overfishing of one species. We can't regulate these fishing methods. And there's always, because these are flying under the radar, there's always going to continue being fishing, and there's going to continue being a fish market and tuna on the menu. So the only thing we really have left to do is to cut the business at the source and stop eating tuna. If we stop eating tuna, we then stop the business. They no longer have a market, thus they would no longer be fishing. So we need to stop eating tuna, because if we do continue to eat it and they continue to overfish it the way that they have, global extinction is much closer than you think. Thank you.